You think you are weak. You tell yourself that you just lack motivation. You look at people like David Goggins or elite athletes, people who wake up at 4 a.m., run in the rain, and push through impossible pain, and you assume they were born with a special gene that you don't have. You assume they are just built different. You are wrong. They were not born different. They built themselves different. Literally. For decades, psychologists thought willpower was a limited resource, like a battery that runs out. But recent neuroscience has discovered something far more profound. Willpower is not a battery, it is a muscle. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean there is a specific physical structure in your brain that gets larger when you are disciplined and shrinks when you are lazy. It is called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or the AMCC. This is the most important scientific discovery for your personal development in the last 20 years. Scientists have found that in obese people, the AMCC is shriveled and thin. In high-performance athletes and super agers, people who stay sharp into their 90s, the AMCC is thick and robust. This part of the brain acts as the bridge between the primal, emotional brain, which wants comfort, and the motor cortex, which controls movement. It is the physical seat of the will to live. When you are doing something difficult, something you hate, but you move your body to do it anyway, the AMCC lights up. It is the neurological override switch. But here is the catch. The AMCC only grows when you do things you do not want to do. If you love running and you go for a run, your AMCC does not grow. It's easy for you. If you love ice baths, taking one does nothing for your willpower. The growth factor is friction. The moment you feel that resistance, that voice begging you to stop, to sleep in, to eat the donut, that is the gym for your AMCC. If you give in to the voice, the muscle atrophies. If you override the voice, the muscle physically expands. You are currently living in a world designed to atrophy your AMCC. Deliveroo, Netflix, infinite scrolling, climate-controlled rooms, soft chairs. You rarely have to do anything you don't want to do. You are suffering from comfort sickness. We need to rebuild this structure. We need to thicken the walls of your willpower so that doing hard things becomes your default setting. Here is the Iron Discipline Protocol to physically restructure your brain. Protocol 1. Hunt the friction, the micro-suffer. You cannot start by running a marathon. You will snap. You need to start by finding small pockets of friction in your daily life and leaning into them instead of avoiding them. I want you to become a friction hunter. Throughout your day, your brain will present you with micro-choices. Should I take the stairs or the elevator? The elevator is easy. The stairs are friction. Take the stairs. I should put this dish in the dishwasher. No, I'll do it later. That is friction. Do it now. I want to check my phone while the microwave runs. Friction. Stare at the microwave and be bored. Every time you choose the harder path, no matter how small, you are doing a rep for your AMCC. You are reinforcing the neural pathway that says, I feel resistance and I act anyway. If you do this 20 times a day with small things, when the big thing comes, like studying for 4 hours or completing a project, you have the structural integrity to handle it. You are callousing your mind. Protocol 2, the one more rep. This is a technique used by bodybuilders, but we are applying it to cognitive tasks. The AMCC grows most intensely at the point of failure. When you are studying and you feel like you absolutely cannot read another page, that is your limit. That is where most people stop. You must do one more. Read one more page, write one more sentence, do one more push-up. That final rep, executed when your entire nervous system is screaming no, is worth more than the previous 50 reps combined. That is the signal that forces adaptation. You are teaching your brain that the signal, I'm done, is a lie. It's a suggestion, not a command. The Navy SEALs have a rule called the 40% rule. When your brain tells you that you are completely exhausted and cannot take another step, you are actually only at 40% of your physical capacity. The pain is a governor, a safety mechanism installed by evolution to save energy. By doing one more, you are hacking the governor. You are proving to the system that it has more in the tank. Protocol 3, the identity vote, Discipline is difficult because you view it as a punishment. You think you are sacrificing happiness. You need to reframe the mechanism. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. When you hit the snooze button, you are casting a vote for the identity of someone who gives up. When you get up at 5 a.m., you are casting a vote for the identity of someone who gets things done. The AMCC responds to identity. Stop asking, do I feel like doing this? Feelings are biological noise. They fluctuate with your blood sugar, the weather, and how much sleep you got. They are unreliable data sources. Start asking, what would the iron version of myself do right now? This creates a separation between your immediate impulse, the toddler brain, and your executive function, the CEO brain. The AMCC is the muscle that allows the CEO to restrain the toddler. The cold water reset. If you want a tangible daily tool to spike this growth, use cold water. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has discussed this extensively. Getting into cold water, a cold shower or ice bath, causes a massive spike in dopamine, a norepinephrine that lasts for hours. But the benefit isn't just the chemistry. The benefit is the wall. Every morning, standing in front of that cold shower handle, you will feel the wall. You will not want to turn it on. That moment of hesitation is the enemy. When you turn the handle despite the hesitation, you win the first battle of the day. You physically engage the AMCC to override the limbic system's fear of discomfort. If you can do that at 7 a.m., you can handle the difficult email at 10 a.m. It sets the tone. You are training yourself to walk into the fire, not away from it. The compound effect of willpower. Here is the best part. This is not just about being able to work harder. A robust AMCC is linked to longevity, emotional regulation, and happiness. People with strong discipline are actually happier than people who indulge every impulse. Why? Because they are in control. There is no greater anxiety than knowing you should do something and not being able to make yourself do it. That is a prison. Discipline is the key to the cell. When you know that you can trust yourself to execute, regardless of how you feel, you develop true confidence. Confidence comes from the undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are. The next time you feel that resistance, the next time you feel lazy, the next time you want to quit, smile. That resistance is the feeling of your brain growing. It is the feeling of weakness leaving the body. Do not waste the rep. Lean into the friction. Build the structure. You are the architect of your own brain. Stop building a shack and start building a fortress. If you are ready to stop being a slave to your impulses and start operating with iron discipline, subscribe to BrainOS. The upgrade is mandatory.